Welcome back to Dark Corner's Physical Media Reviews.
No!
We're looking at another Tales of Adventure box set, Collection 9, from Via Vision's Imprint label. All produced by John Dark, directed by Kevin Connor, still making films today at the age of 88, and starring Doug McClure. You may remember him from such films as these four.
Looks like we're the only survivors.
The Land That Time Forgot was a change of pace for British production company Amicus, best known for their portmanteau horrors. A grand-scale action-adventure based on the novel by Edgar Rice Burroughs, the first of his Casbah trilogy, with a screenplay by Michael Moorcock, already a highly respected fantasy novelist. Set during the First World War, the film follows the crews of a British passenger ship and a German submarine, thrown together. The miniature effects are great. Arriving in a mysterious land beyond a wall of ice, a land where prehistoric creatures still dwell. The pterodactyls are not good, but the others hold up pretty well, even if the limitations of the puppets become clear in the fight scene. As the group encounter the land's other inhabitants, the improbable nature of this place emerges.
They flow into the river and develop through every stage of evolution.
Which I don't think matters. This is a fun film, but what really makes it work is the tensions within the group. It does take a while to get going. It's more than a third of the film before they arrive, but that groundwork pays off. The focus is on the people rather than the situation.
For us, here, the war in Europe is meaningless, yes?
But can they forget it? A solid hit for Amicus, the film got a sequel, The People That Time Forgot, 3 years later, starring Patrick Wayne, with a cameo role for McClure. This is the only film in the set in which he does not star. We also get Hammer favourite Thorley Walters being a bumbling eccentric for the competition.
Did I ever tell you about the Matterhorn?
Once or twice.
Dinosaurs are present and correct, although some of the effects are less impressive. And I give the film credit for not just rehashing the same story again. This is a very reasonable extension of the first film. Plus, Dana Gillespie.
Absolutely remarkable.
But overall, this is not as good as the first film. It hits the ground running, but sacrifices character.
Nagas!
The plot is fun, although somewhat pointless if you think about it, but the people are by the numbers.
Now stop it. You're making my flesh creep.
Between these two films, Amicus made another Edgar Rice Burroughs adaptation, At the Earth's Core, discovering the subterranean land of Pellucidar.
Ready to go, Doc?
Oh, yes, my dear fellow. I'll just check the gyroscopes.
With McClure alongside Peter Cushing, who gets the pick of the lines.
You cannot mesmerize me. I'm British.
Demonstrating that this is more comic than the Time Forgot films, which extends to the creatures. It's just a little hard to take the Rock'em Sock'em rhinos seriously, and the settings too are less impressive.
Well, where are we?
My opinion hasn't shifted much since we reviewed it many years ago. It's got lots of good things. Hell, it's got Caroline Munro.
What a phenomenal sight!
But they don't add up to much. There is so much explanation.
But has been endowed with mesmeric powers and a high degree of telepathy.
And once the outsiders show up to free everyone, it's just a bit too easy. The People That Time Forgot would be Amicus's last film. For now, watch this space. But Connor and Dark continued, along with McClure, to make Warlords of Atlantis with EMI. This time from an original story by sometime Doctor Who writer Brian Hales. I say original, to be honest, the basic setup is at the Earth's core, but underwater instead of underground, and this does feel like an accumulation of fantasy and science fiction cliches, notably the all-powerful aliens.
This is the Hall of Contemplation, workshop of intellect.
Good Lord, they're floating.
Who for some reason still desperately need a smart human to help them.
Magnificent.
Superb alpha brain.
I hate that one. On the other hand, this has to be the only film where you can see classic Hollywood musical star Sid Charisse and Cliff from Out of Cheers.
When you think of what it must have cost them.
Also, Michael Gothard in a get-up that defies belief.
My name is Admir.
The increased budget does make for far more spectacular settings, with a real sense of grand scale. Although some of the creatures were better with a low budget. Despite some interesting ideas about the Atlanteans' influence on the world above, I again felt that the characters were just stock. I also found the ending very odd, like I missed something. Moving to the extras, Jonathan Rigby and Kevin Lyons provide commentary tracks for At the Earth's Core and Warlords of Atlantis, while Kim Newman and author Stephen Jones take on the Time Forgot duo. Both tracks, as you would expect, awash with nostalgia, fond memories of films viewed at a Saturday morning matinee, and history, the collapse of the British film industry and rise of the blockbuster, Star Wars blowing this type of film out of the water. Director Kevin Connor gives new interviews on each film, talking about their genesis, production, and his career, about 90 minutes in total. The interview, not his career. Praising his team's cost-cutting creativity. This shot was achieved by filming a photograph of a ship at the end of a fish tank. As we're finding with recent Hammer releases, it is increasingly hard to find first-person accounts of this period, so while it can be dry, it's so important to get these stories down.
It was quite an experience, I must say.
Finally, we have a collection of archival material. Contemporary interviews with the female stars, Susan Penhaligon, who turned down a role with the Royal Shakespeare Company to do this.
But I told this story to Judi Dench, and she said she would have done the monster movie every time.
Caroline Munro, who never has a bad word to say about anybody.
You know, if the team works, the crew works, they know how to work together, and they all slot in. It's a joyous thing.
Sarah Douglas, who sported cinnamon buns on her head the year before Carrie Fisher made it iconic, and who marvels at the big-budget American film she's appearing in.
Like, do I really need this? You know, I'm busy on this film, and it's a very important film that people at Time forgot.
Right before being cast in Superman. And the fabulous Dana Gillespie, who reveals that Thorley Walters brought his own toilet paper to the Canary Islands while everyone else was stuck using newspaper.
That was probably the worst bit. I was thinking, oh God, why did I have that, egg sandwich or something that morning?
All have fond memories with enough distance that they can share some more honest stories.
And he told me that I made him as horny as a two-peckered billy goat.
There's also trailers, a couple of making-of featurettes from the 70s that really try to sell the films as far bigger than they are, and an episode of Trailers from Hell with Brian Trenchard Smith, rounding out a satisfying collection of extras. I would say Warlords of Atlantis is the least of these because it doesn't have the fun that carries the other weaker entries. They all have their moments of fantasy spectacle, wild ideas and wilder monsters, but The Land That Time Forgot is the standout because while it has all that, it also has proper character drama that develops throughout, and that's something I love. Genuine character stories told through a fantastical boy's own adventure.
Mr. Tyler!
And of course, Doug McClure. I've barely mentioned him because you sort of don't. He is the hero, but never an annoying one. For instance,
You still annoyed at having to bring me along?
No, not really. It's just that certain kind of girls are hard to take.
I know that's the script, but Doug's characters don't come out with this stuff. He is the rock around which these outlandish adventures crash. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. What films do you remember Doug McClure from? Let us know in the comments below.